Hello, and welcome to the how-to video guide for using and inputting information into the ITT. My name is Ann, and I am part of the evaluation team at Center for Supportive Schools. In this video, I will first go over what the ITT is and why it is important. Then, I will walk through the ITT process, start to finish, so that you can see what each step will look like. If you would like to navigate directly to a specific form's instructions, the timestamps are included in the below information section of this video. If you are watching this video, then you probably are involved in one of our CSS programs like Peer Group Connection or Teen Pep. We ask all schools that are implementing these programs to provide us with some basic information regarding how the program is integrated into their school. This information allows us to provide you with more tailored program assistance. It is also used internally to confirm our grant requirements and to better understand the reach of our programming. We collect this information via the ITT, which stands for Implementation Tracking Tool. If you have implemented a CSS program prior to school year 2019 to 2020, then you may have encountered the ITT in its earliest form as a Google Sheet. You will see similarities in this newer version. The information requested is the same, but the design is sleeker with a more modern interface and faster loading times. Now for the ITT itself. Around the time that you begin your CSS program, we will provide you with a link to the ITT home page. This link is the same for everyone. It does not change and will bring you here to this landing page. This page is your ITT home base and contains links and descriptions to various ITT forms. This page and all the linked forms are also accessible on mobile and tablet devices. Looking at this page, we see that there are 5 forms and also a link to a feedback form here at the bottom. Should you encounter any technical difficulties while filling out the ITT, please let us know via this feedback form link. We will get back to you as soon as possible. Also note that the second to last form link is still in progress. We will not worry about going through this form at this time. You will receive communication regarding this form in the later half of your programming. The form links are organized in a logical progression for completion, but it is not required that you complete them in this top to bottom order. Today, however, we will, and let's go ahead and start at the top with the stakeholder and advisor contact information. As this is the first form that we are going over today, let's take a minute to walk over the layout. Every ITT form will first ask you to select your school and then to input a password. You will be sent the password in a private email and it is unique to your school. Should you ever forget your password and cannot locate this email, then either reach out to the CSS evaluation team via the feedback form or our email address, evaluation@supportiveschools.org. Both are linked below in the information section of this video. Alternatively, you can reach out to your TA provider directly for password recovery. For this demo, I am going to go ahead and use a sample school that I have set up, Sample High School. So I'll go ahead and search for it in the search bar. And then it will load some background information. And then I'll type in my password and press enter on my keyboard. You'll see that some existing information has now been filled in based on my school and password. All the ITT forms have a similar layout to this, with the title at the top of the form, a save and exit form button, and then some detailed instructions for completing. Clicking the Save button in the upper right-hand corner is the only way to save your information. If you do not click this button, then all the information you previously entered will be lost. In this particular form, all the top information here is filled in. We just need to edit the information in this table. The Stakeholder and Advisor Information form is where you will enter names and contact information for those at your school who are involved in the CSS program. At Sample High School, we already have one saved contact, Debbie Demo. If we click this green button to the right of Debbie's contact information, we can then view and edit the information related to her roles in the CSS programs at her school. Note that the descriptions of each role are found here below the table. Let's go and view that information for Debbie. We see here that she is affiliated with PGC High School and has two roles, Stakeholder Team Coordinator and Data Lead. We can edit this information by clicking this pencil icon. In the majority of cases, each contact will have one line in this part of the table because if they serve as multiple roles in one CS program, that can be noted here in this one line, as we see with Debbie, who has two roles. However, if your school implements more than one CSS program and a person has roles within each program, then it is necessary to add another line. Click the Add a CSS Program for this contact button, and you will be able to input the appropriate information in the pop-up screen. Let's add some information for Debbie for Teen Pep. Click Add, and the information will be saved. This will then load and bring you back to the first level of the table. But then you see, if we click on Debbie again, she is now associated with two CSS programs. If at any point Debbie no longer actively holds any roles with one or both these programs, you would simply go in and uncheck that box under Currently Active in this program. But Debbie is just one advisor and stakeholder team member. To add our other contacts, we will have to be in this contact information level of the table. Click Add a Program Contact, and the same information input pop-up will appear. Enter the contact information first, and then you would click Add. From there, you would edit the program level information following the same process we did for Debbie earlier. At any point, if you are done entering information, click the Save button at the top to save what you have entered. You can return to this form at any time to edit or add more information following the same process we just went through. All the information that you already saved will appear. Returning to our home page, the next form is Program Information. Let's go ahead and fill that one out. After we enter our school name and our password, we will see the same heading format with the form title, directions for completing the form, and the Save and Exit button. Note that one difference between this form, Program Information, and the previous form, Stakeholder and Advisor Contact Information, is that in this form, we will have the option to download a PDF of the inputted information after we save it. More on that later. This form requires 2 additional fields before the rest of the information loads: the CSS program, and also which cohort term you are entering data for. Let's go ahead and select PGC High School. And then note that most schools implement a CSS program over the course of the year and will select this first option. However, if you implement the CSS program on a purely semester basis with a different group of students each semester or only for one semester, then you will select based on if you are in the fall or the spring term. Once you have selected options for both of these fields, then the rest of the form will populate. Program information includes questions regarding how you incorporate the CSS program into your school's schedule and course structure. So we first select what type of scheduling your school implements. Please select the option most near to what your school implements. Both PGC and Team PEP will ask the same questions regarding the peer leadership or peer educator course, including whether or not it is classified under a specific academic department, how many course sections are offered, meaning how many different groups of peer leader classes are there, whether or not the course is implemented throughout the full year or a semester, and how many credits will be earned. If the course is not for credit, please put a 0 here. We also ask that you describe the peer leadership class schedule here, including the days and times. Provide initial and mid-program peer retreat dates here. If the retreat was only one day, then please put the same date for the start and the end. For PGC programs, we also ask if peer check-ins are occurring. In the outreach session details, we also ask about the days and times for PGC and whether or not any of these outreach sessions are taught in a language other than English. If we go back to the top and change to Team PEP, we will see the same questions in the peer educator course details and then similar ones in the workshop information section. We do ask about parent-student homework assignments. Scrolling down, Team PEP also asks about the media campaign, including if it has been conducted, and then asking for some details about that campaign. Once you complete all the information that you want to at the time, scroll back to the top and click the Save and Exit Form button. As you can see, this will lead you to a nice PDF of the data you entered. I did not really enter any data for Team PEP, so we don't see that data here. However, this PDF is printable if you click on the print icon, or you can download and save a copy to your computer. When you are ready to complete your submission, click the Finish button on the bottom right. You must click this button to make sure your data saves. You will know your data is submitted because you will see that loading sign and then receive this message. Next, we'll go back to the home page to submit the next form, Student Information. This form is structured very similarly to the Program Information form, but instead of asking about scheduling, here we are looking for student demographics. We start the same way with our school name and password. Then we will see this top portion, once it loads, looks very similarly to the Program Information form layout. We again are asked about our program and our cohort term. Once the data loads, we will see the blocks of information where we will input the number of students in the program by grade level, gender, ethnicity, and race breakdowns. There are separate sections for mentors and for mentees. The most important information to include is this grade level breakdown. This is typically the simplest information to gather about your students. Let's input some information for outreach participants. If we enter the number of 9th graders, we see that the total automatically calculates and that we receive error messages in the other demographic boxes. These will be fixed once we enter numbers that add up to the same total as grade level. I am randomly entering numbers here for sample high school. Once you are done entering whatever information you have at the time, scroll back to the top and click the Save and Exit Form button. Remember that your form does not need to be completed in one sitting. You can return to it later. However, if you do not click Save, then none of your information will be saved. Once again, we are given the option to download the PDF. Click the Finish button to complete the save process. Our next form, Curriculum Information, is a little different than our previous forms. The purpose of this form is to provide a place for you to track your progress as you complete each curriculum outreach, unit, or workshop. Ideally, this form will be completed by advisors as they will be the most involved in completing outreaches and units. So after entering our school and our password, you will also enter the information related to your program and then your cohort. And then in this green box, some specific information related to the curriculum and the outreach unit or workshop that you are submitting. The first question here is about the version, and this is denoted by a year, and you can find it on the front cover and spine of your curriculum binder. We must select this first. This will load the appropriate outreach, workshop, or unit titles. Select the appropriate curriculum piece that you will be submitting data for. The next question refers to the number of sessions. Sessions are different than outreaches, units, and workshops. Those definitions are noted here on the right side. The outreach, workshop, or unit is the piece of curriculum that was completed. The number of sessions refers to how many groups of students separately completed this curriculum piece. For example, if for outreach 10, the outreach participant group meets only once to complete their activities, then only one session took place, and I would select no. However, if it took 2 days to complete the outreach, or if 2 groups of outreach participants met separately to complete the same outreach, then I would select yes, and then 2 for how many sessions were held. Depending on how many sessions you select, the corresponding number of information boxes will appear below. Submit the date that the session occurred, how many mentees attended the outreach session, and include any notes on the logistics of the session that you may want to remember here. This section is optional. If nothing out of the ordinary occurred with this session, then there is no need to input notes unless you would like to. So after we have filled out all necessary information, scroll down to click Save and Submit. And that will load and save your data. If you wish to view the session that you have just submitted in this below table of outreaches, then click the Refresh button. All the outreach, workshops, and units you have previously previously submitted will be listed here, and we can see that Outreach 10 that we just entered. Should you want to make an update later on, or if you wish to view the number of mentees and notes categories here in the table as well, you can go edit this information by clicking the pencil icon. And we can scroll down and click Update. There is also the option to export your session information to an Excel sheet. And you can see right when we clicked that button, the Excel sheet automatically downloaded. If you want to enter multiple sessions, you can do that before you exit the form by going back up and re-entering information as appropriate. When you are done, click the Save and Exit form. You can return to this same link to enter additional session information later as you make your way through the curriculum. We have now reviewed the 4 main ITT forms: stakeholder and advisor contact information, program information, student information, and lastly, curriculum information. All these forms are accessible via the ITT homepage and then by entering your school's name and password. Should you have any questions regarding the ITT forms or information throughout the school year, please do not hesitate to reach out to the CSS evaluation team via the form feedback link or our email address, evaluation@supportiveschools.org. Both are linked in the information section below the video. Thank you for watching.